Welcome back, everybody, to my annual October ranking series. This year I'm counting down my 31 favorite horror movies from the 2010s. At number 24, we have Don't Breathe.
What are you gonna do now, huh? Huh? You better fucking stop!
Don't Breathe is really good, really suspenseful home invasion movie. I do love home invasion movies. They're some of the horror movies that get to me the most because they deal with things that happen all the time in our society, and that's a frightening thought. You know, like the thought of someone breaking into your house and having to deal with that. So yeah, home invasion movies, they really do affect me. Like serial killer movies and home invasion movies and things involving water, they get to me because they deal with very realistic things and things that you feel could actually happen to you. But this is a movie that takes a home invasion movie and turns it on its head, and I appreciate when movies do that. This is one of those movies where it walks the fine line of dealing with characters that you could call unlikable. That when it comes to unlikable characters in a horror movie, like, that's something that can bother me, but it can be done right. When you make all your characters in a movie unlikable assholes and uninteresting unlikable assholes, it can hurt the film for me. There is a way where you can make a horror movie with unlikable main characters but still make it interesting. There are plenty of examples of that. House on the Edge of the Park, I think, is a great example of that, and of course, A Clockwork Orange. Alex, one of the most unlikable people on the face, one of the most unlikable characters ever, but you are so drawn into the movie and you're so intrigued by him. There's a way to do that. And Don't Breathe does a good job at having characters who seem unlikable at first, but making you understand why they're in this situation. You have the three main characters, and there's only one of them that you really feel is an unlikable asshole. They're all doing questionable things, but they make it so, like, you understand why they're doing it.
Your lips look sore. That's how you're making your cash out there?
What do you say you and I move away from Mom together? It's a promise.
You're leaving?
Yeah, as soon as I have the money.
When are you coming back?
Never.
You have these three characters, Rocky, Alex, and Money. Alex's father runs a security company, so Alex is able to know how to undo alarms and get through alarms and stuff like that. And the three rob houses. They go in, they steal all the money, and then Alex is able to help them get through the security systems. Which, yeah, makes them come across as unlikable characters at first. Alex is only doing this because of Rocky, because you can tell he has a crush on Rocky. Rocky is doing this because she's in an abusive household, and she has either a little sister or a daughter. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's her daughter, and she wants to get her daughter out of this abusive relationship because she's stuck living with her parents and her parents are abusive. So the reason she's robbing houses is because she wants to get herself and her daughter out of this bad situation. So while she is doing questionable things, you can understand why she's doing it because of her situation. So they decide to rob the house of this blind man who was a military vet who got blinded, lost his daughter, has a lot of money, so they're trying to break into the house to steal his money. Which, yes, makes them very questionable people because they're robbing from a blind man. Anyway, they get into the house, and they soon find out that this blind man is not as helpless as they thought he was. They end up getting trapped in the house with this blind man who is basically a killing machine. And that's the movie. It's these people trying to escape from this blind man who is actually a very, very dangerous person.
Okay, I swear to God.
So that's what I like. It's a home invasion movie in reverse. It's usually, like, in a home invasion movie, the people invading the house are the threat. This takes that concept and reverses it. It's the person inside the house who is the threat, and the people invading the house are now having to deal with this killer of a person. There are a lot of home invasion movies that do that, but not a lot, and I enjoy when a home invasion movie does that. There's People Under the Stairs, there's The Collector, Yeah, so those are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. Let me know if there are others like that, but I like home invasion movies where it's the person in the house who is the real threat in the whole situation. Stephen Lang plays the blind man, and he is excellent in this role. He does a good job at playing a blind man who can murder you with his bare hands. he is, like, really good at being threatening. And this movie does a great job at darkness. It does a great job at putting the characters in the darkness. There's this whole scene where the people are trapped in the basement, and the blind man turns off the lights. And he's able to move around just fine because it's his house. He knows the thing. He wanders around in darkness all the time. And the characters are wandering around in the darkness, and it looks like they're really wandering around in the darkness. Now, I heard that they actually made it really dark in the movie, so the actors had to, bump around in the darkness. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but if it is, again, mention it in the comments down below. But I would not be surprised with that, because they do a good job at making the darkness feel dark. And they do a good job at keeping the danger flowing, because, one of the traps that a home invasion movie can come into is, trying to keep the people in the house and trying to keep them from getting away from everything. And sometimes that results in the characters only making stupid decisions, but the movie does a good job at keeping the characters in the house in a believable way. And there are even times where someone gets out of the house, but they are somehow brought right back to the house. And then you have the blind man's dog, which is a major factor in this movie. The blind man has a dog who is his seeing eye dog and is also vicious, and so it helps to make it so there's always a threat involved. Like, the blind man will be a threat, but then they'll get away from the blind man, and then the dog will come into play. And then they'll be able to get away from the dog, but then the blind man is back in the situation again. So it does a good job at keeping the threat going. It does a good job at finding reasons to keep them in the house. It finds ways for them to escape from the house, but then bring them right back into the house. And then you have the most disturbing aspect of the movie. This is given away in the trailer, so this isn't really a spoiler. The way they find out that the blind man is not a good person is they find this woman trapped in the basement. A pregnant woman trapped in the basement. And you find out that this was the woman who accidentally killed the blind man's daughter. And so he's using her to get another baby, and they deal with that, and it's very disturbing. It's that disturbing element to the movie. It doesn't get graphic, but it does deal with some graphic ideas, which gives the movie that disturbing edge. I wouldn't say that this is a disturbing movie, but it has a disturbing edge, so that even people who are sensitive to this kind of subject matter, I think, can still watch it, because it doesn't do it in a graphic way, and it's not done in a disturbing way. It just has that disturbing edge to it. Now, there is a sequel to this movie that I have not seen. I didn't really have any interest to see it, because I think this movie ended in the best way possible, and I think this is a movie that only warrants for one movie. I don't think there was a need to make a sequel in it. There are movies out there that work best as just their own contained movie, and I think Don't Breathe was a good movie for that. They made a sequel. I have no interest in seeing the sequel. So, yeah, I don't know if I will ever check it out. Maybe sometime in the future, but at this point, I don't really have any desire to see it. For me, you have Don't Breathe, and I don't need to see Don't Breathe 2. At least that's how it works in my brain. Don't Breathe is a great home invasion movie, and it's a good home invasion movie to watch around Halloween. It is very suspenseful, it has a great villain, it has characters that, while they can lean towards the unlikable side, you can still understand most of their motivations, so you're still willing to root for them in this situation. The pacing is good, it handles darkness really good, and it keeps the tension running in ways that make sense, in ways that, at least for me, doesn't feel like they're just doing things to draw out the movie. But yeah, Don't Breathe, very suspenseful, very good. Definitely would say if you have not seen it, check it out for the Halloween season.